Oh, I know, old hockey injury there. Help me understand this. No. Why do Democrats still think that protecting illegal aliens who have committed crimes is a winning political strategy?
They don't, and they never have. I'm going to echo what President Obama said when he took office. We're going to secure the border, and we're going to pass comprehensive immigration reform, and if you break the law, you're going to be put in jail and or deported. That hasn't changed. My view on that hasn't changed. Being a sanctuary city doesn't change that. The first Sunday, the ICE raids took place under President Trump. 260 people were targeted. 7 of them had criminal warrants. We cooperate when you're going after criminals. So it's this great game of how this got to.
Okay, but really, why not acknowledge in Illinois, for example, the enormous problems that mass illegal immigration has created, which J.B. Pritzker will not, and why try to stop the Trump administration and why forbid Chicago police from helping?
Look, first of all, Chicago police help when they're going after a criminal warrant. Let's double back just a little bit and remind ourselves of history. We have 11 million undocumented residents in this country right now. President Reagan, President Bush passed amnesty, signed on to it. So we need a pathway to citizenship. How come I go to Chamber of Commerce?
We're not debating immigration here. We're debating...
Yeah, sure we are, because it's all connected.
Hold on. Let me just play for you Mayor Johnson on this very issue.
Tom Holman showed up in Chicago and within 24 hours found a convicted sex offender who has been living in our city since 2009, flouting the sex offender registry. If he can do this, why can't you?
Because that's their job. That is their job. The federal government
job's not to keep the people of Chicago safe.
It's our job to go after anybody who's committed a crime. I can't speak for anyone else, and we have. How many arrests per day under the Biden administration? Around 300. You act like this hasn't happened under any other administration, but you've got to talk about immigration, because what they're talking about is deporting 11 million people. 1 million of them are children. We're going to be safer deporting kids. Let's also remember all the press conferences you've seen in which the Chamber of Commerce, the ag industry, manufacturing industry, hospitality, all say we've got to find a pathway. They're kicking out people
we're trying to have the head of the Nebraska Chamber of Commerce on about just this issue. I agree with you that deporting people who are here, who have otherwise not committed a crime other than coming across the border, that's a different discussion. But when it comes to trying to deal with people who have committed crimes, you do not see J.B. Pritzker, you do not see Brandon Johnson saying, we are going to go all in to help the federal government. You heard J.B. Pritzker, in fact, say, and we have the soundbite of what he says about Donald Trump.
What the president is trying to do is illegal. I know these are challenging times, and the Trump administration is trying to confuse the American people. When it comes to threats to our freedom, health, or security, if you come for my people, you come through me.
How about this? You're pretty reasonable on these issues. I think actually more reasonable than most Democrats. Is J.B. Pritzker and Mayor Johnson making your life harder?
I can't say about what Mayor Johnson said, because I can't take it out of context. I have talked to the governor. He has said to me, people who have committed crimes should be jailed or deported. I haven't talked to the mayor about this, so I can't put it in that context. But let me put it in another sense for you of why this matters. The domestic violence community in Chicago, when they talk to me about this, they say, if you're deporting everyone who comes to the police and when they find out that they're undocumented, no victim of domestic violence is ever going to want to go to the police, and they'll be put in danger and their lives are at risk. I don't want to hear, with all due respect, that the Trump administration is about law and order. I was in the chambers there on January 6th, and he has pardoned over 200 people who committed a violent coup there. 5 police officers died in the wake of that. 140 injured, and he pardoned them. Tell me he's concerned about law enforcement and going after criminals. He has pardoned people who have now threatened us after they got out.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that we have now seen how the argument.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.